All right, welcome everybody to tonight's live stream here at Lanes Raceway. We're racing 1RC, our series under the standard dirt late model class. It's going to be Blake Pannell, Isaac Shepard, Garrett Burden, Tim Hall tonight, and they're going to be qualifying here for 10 minutes. All the guys are ready to go, so we're going to make an announcement and get them qualifying. Chat is live, YouTube, Facebook, and Twitch if you want to join in on the conversation. We're also prepping up for this weekend actually, for the Flexi Challenge Series here at Lanes Raceway. And Alan Ingram and all the crew's going to be down here. Some of the top racers in the world going to be racing on our flat track. We've been busy cleaning it and getting it prepped for tomorrow to get spray glued to be ready for Thursday, a fresh track for everybody to race on. So it's going to be pretty exciting there. All right, guys, first up, dirt late model standard. Blake Pannell, Isaac Shepard, Garrett Burden, Tim Hall. You got 10 minutes to qualify. So we'll go ahead and start their qualifying there. It's going to be a 10-minute session there for these guys. You can see me looking up in the air. We've changed the way some things have been here at Lanes Raceway. As you remember, last week we had the race seat and stuff here. So a bunch of our live streaming kind of got posted just simply to get set up for the big race happening Saturday. And we ended up moving a couple monitors up on one of our little bleacher stands here and setting it up as a booth. Right out of the gate here, we got Tim Hall. Running a 3.88 so far. Yeah, 3.83, Tim. Hey, Tim, this is the non-breakout class. Okay. It would have. No, you would have been 30 hundredths off. 3 point, so if it hits 3.8 exact, you're good. But if it hits 3.799, you're bad. So that thing's right on the money for that class. Huh? The other one is too. Blake Pannell here with his several slogan car. He's got a bunch of slogans on his car. Him and Garrett Burden past weekend went and raced over in Louisville, Kentucky. Right now he's running a 3.510. And that car's holding the bottom pretty good. All right, Blake, a 3.510. Stop that real quick, Garrett. It says you got a rental 2482. Hang on. Try it again, Garrett. Stop. 2482. I could have swore that was under your driver. 2482. It's on here. Hang on. Just don't move. And this is standard. Change driver. Garrett Burden. Son of a. Woo! That scared me. Not going to lie. All right. You're good, Garrett. Got a little bit of feedback coming off of the TV there and the speaker simultaneously. Got me a little spook. Gale Force Raceway. Okay, here we go. Great way to start the evening. Garrett Burden, 3.250. That might be a glitch. I'd say that was a glitch. Hopefully we don't have any more glitches with the transponders. Guys, hold your car there. We're going to restart this because of that being a glitch. There ain't no way I can get it off. We're going to do a false start and restart. All right, everybody's got to qualify again. Oh yeah. So nobody came in and okay. So we're also going to have a giveaway after this qualifying. I forgot all about that. So let me go ahead and get that set up here. It's going to be just a second, guys. It's probably going to take your chat away just for a second. Yeah, 3.950, Isaac. All right, up next is Garrett Burden. He had a little bit of a glitch with his car. You don't have a lipo in that, do you, Garrett? Better check. No? All right. Does it? I'm just giving you preliminary warning. That's it. All right, Tim, a 3.950. Blake, you're up. Blake running a 3.4 also here. Blake, you running a lipo? All right, congratulations to Garrett Burden and I guess Blake, but it's going to give it to Garrett. 3.40. Guys, we're going to go ahead and do the quick giveaway here before we go into the next thing here. So let me make that a little bit bigger here for you guys to see. Nobody came and picked up the cars, so we're going to be doing this again. So we're going to do a little quick shuffle here a couple times. You see me shuffling the whole spinny board here. Still the same people from last week. Let me close these ads over here. All right, guys, here we go. Clicking it. Let's see who's going to get it. You'll have 1 week to come pick this late model up. If you do not come and get it within 1 week, we will spin again next week. And it is going to be Edward Howe. Edward Howe, congratulations. T, Edward Howe. So, Edward, you have 1 week to come get your late model here at Lanes Raceway. Congratulations. Huh? Just write down Edward Howe. Somebody's going to show up with the name Edward Howe, whether it's the Edward Howe we know or not. But I think it is. I couldn't tell from the picture. All right. So let me go back to our restream here. All right, guys. Next up, Dirt Late Model Beginner Class. Bones, Tim, Jamie Fulcher, Isaac. 10 minutes to qualify. I got to figure out a way to get this screen small again as I made it too big. There we go. Snagged it. Mike Woodard, who is the winner now? Edward Howe is the winner. Transponder 10033419. Transponder 10033419. Tim Hall. All right, Tim, 4.050. The beginner class has a breakout of 3.8. So if they go any faster than that, they just lose their lap. And we had Gabriel lose 2 laps last week. He fell all the way to the bottom pretty quick. All right, Bones, a 4.380. Jamie Fulcher looks like he got the wrong gun. Isaac Shepard going to get his Kit Kat mobile in here. He said next week he's going to have a brand new car with a wrap on it. Kit Kat wrap. This car has been through the ringer several times. All right, Isaac Shepard, a 4.320. Jamie Fulcher up next. Jamie been doing pretty good in this class in the super late model as of late. See if he can keep it up. Right now, 4.280. That's second best. He's got one more lap to do better. A pretty close, compatible time with Tim Hall here. All right, Jamie, a 4.140. Tim Hall's going to have the fastest time, 4.050. All right, guys, next up is going to be Super Dirt Late Model. Garrett Burden, Chris Henderson, Blake Panel, Jamie Fulcher, Brandon Lee. 10 minutes to qualify. So we had a few issues last week that was a little bit my fault, a little bit software issue. So once you start this, making changes in the event is a little glitchy. Um, so we started the event. There was something I left off, tried to change it. It wouldn't let me change it. And I ended up screwing a couple racers out of competition there. And that's my fault. Uh, but we got it worked out this week, and I think everything's working good. Oh, a little grip there on Brandon Lee's super late model as he rolls over there in the corner. And we had something else go on. I can't remember exactly what it was. It was something. But anyways, we made it through, back on the other side now, and got a few more races left here in the series. The shirts did come in. Brandon Lee's car back on his lid again as the track's pretty grippy right now. Brandon Lee running the high side here to keep his car from flipping. All right, Brandon Lee, 3.440. Looks like we might have 2 guys qualifying simultaneously. 360 spin for Garrett Burden. Chris Henderson right now, 3.410 in the super late models. He goes to try to dodge Garrett Burden's. All right, Chris Henderson, 3.410. Chris Henderson currently in the lead here in the super late model. Richie Austin, evening. How's it going, Richie? Garrett Burden with the 3830. 3-6 now. All right, Garrett Burden, 3600. Glenn Burden says, hello. Hello, Glendis. Next, we got Blake Panel in the 96, Not So Many slogan car. This car's smooth sounding here tonight. 3.390 shows it's smooth. Very quick. We're seeing lift this week. 3.390 Blake Panel. Jamie Fulcher, our last entry here with the purple 13. Late model here. It's holding the low side pretty good. We're seeing a 3.250. That's the fastest time of the night. Jamie Fulcher's here to play, folks. Jamie Fulcher, fast time, 3.250. Next up, Asphalt Late Model. Garrett Burden, Blake Panel, Tim Hall, Chris Henderson. 10 minutes to qualify. The number 51 Cold Trickle Mellow Yellow. Chris Henderson so far turning a 3.770. All right, Chris, congratulations, 3.770. Next up, Tim Hall in the Asphalt Late Model. So this Friday, our flat track is going to have its widening kit here. So we should have it up and ready to go by next week. We might let the guys pick and choose what track they want to run next week. I know they've been pretty excited about it. Tim Hall right now. All right, Tim, a 4.160. Next up is Blake Panel in the yellow, blue, and purple car, 96. Very darty there on the inside. He finds his rhythm here now. Currently turning a 4.240. All right, Blake Panel, 4.240. Next up is Garrett Burden in the clear car here, not yet painted. It's good lines, but it seems like the car is dying in the corners here. Maybe a bad battery or something. Could be tires in the inner wheel too, possibly rubbing. All right, Garrett Burden, a 4.650. Chris Henderson, you're going to have the fastest time, 3.770. All right, we're going to finish up here. Move on into our final race of the evening qualifying wise. Dirt Street Stock up next. Tim Hall, Garrett Burden, Jamie Fulcher, Bones. Hey, T, bring me my shirt so I can show everybody what the shirts look like. So they all have 10 minutes to qualify here. Hello. All right, looks like Bones is going to be up first here. Ed says, good job, Ed, at winning the drawing. Yeah, congratulations, Ed. I guess that is the Ed we know. Bones got his car there. Let's take a quick look here at these shirts that we got in here for the guys. And they are eligible to get these today. So this is what the front of them looks like. It says late model there. I know it's kind of hard to make out with this camera. And then the back of it says Dirt Track Racing, late model Dirt Track Racing 1RC, Lanes Raceway. So those are pretty cool. All right, congratulations, Bones, a 4.190. Up next is Tim Hall in the orange and neon yellow car. Right now, 3.990. All right, congratulations, Tim, 3.990. Looks like we got a different kind of tire dope on that car. It ain't hanging at all. So Garrett's going to try to come back here in a minute, maybe get his tires worked on. Jamie Fulcher out there now with the purple and white 13, black front bumper. Coming off a quick time in the super late model. We'll see how he does here in the street stock here. He's got a very darty car for sure. Right now turning a 4.570. He's got her down to a 4.5. All right, Jamie Fulcher, 4.500. These tires are really, really loose here for Garrett Burden. He might have to have a couple laps here to get them warmed up. The back end is coming around a little bit better, though. I will say that for some slick tires here. He's working with it. Right now, currently turning a 4.610. Usually these cars are very pushy. This car here looks like the back end is coming around a little bit, except maybe turn 4 where it's trying to push. All right, Garrett Burden, a 4.610. Tim Hall, you had the best time, 3.990. All right, guys, we're going to move on into the heat race. All right, guys, dirt late model standard. Now, this is the class no breakout. Remember that. Garrett Burden, Blake Pannell, Isaac Shepard, Tim Hall. So do not get those confused with beginner, because if you bring your beginner car out here, you're going to get smoked, most likely. T, can you give me a drink, please? While we're waiting on the guys to come, let's see if I can cut this off real quick and show you guys what I've been up to here. Maybe. Well, all right, so you can see we've been working on cleaning the track here. We got about this side of the track already clean. I got some of these little black things there on the track, guys. Now that's to keep any kind of propellant, I guess you would say, or anything like that on the braids, and keep the glue off of the braids also. All right, guys. So we are waiting on Garrett and Blake, or Isaac and Blake, sorry. All right, if you're not racing, please help track marshal. Need at least one more. Bones, you're probably good there. Yeah, we just need one more. Jamie? All right, here comes Jamie. Guys, y'all ready? Here we go. All right, now to the gate here. It looks like Blake Pannell out to an early lead. Hang on. Guys, I got to type the name in. All right. All right, right now Blake Panel in the lead. Tim Hall right there behind him in the yellow and orange cars. We see the Kit Kat wrecking there in turn 4. And Blake Panel coming up on Garrett Burden here. Tim Hall taking the high side there. Tim Hall takes out the Kit Kat, but the Kit Kat flips back over. Oh, and the Kit Kat back on his lid. Rubbins Racing, folks. The inside line is a popular line for sure in this class. They're all running pretty close here together as we see Tim Hall next to the Kit Kat again. He makes a clean pass on the inside of the Kit Kat. Kit Kat and Garrett Burden side by side there, the two black cars. Little Rubbins Racing. Tim Hall getting a little bit of an advantage out here as the Kit Kat goes for a flip again. And it causes Garrett Burton to clash off the wall a little bit. Now back side by side again. We see Blake Panel right behind Tim Hall as the Kit Kat and Garrett Burton back at it again. Oh, Kit Kat gives him a little taste of his own medicine, shoving him to the high side 4 as Garrett Burton flips in turn 2. A close race between Blake and Tim. Currently on the same lap here. As we see the Kit Kat and, oh, 2-0 involved in this instance. We see Blake Panel and the Kit Kat. Blake Panel got into the Kit Kat. Kit Kat takes out Blake Panel. Blake Panel's getting thrashed here. All right, congratulations, Blake. That's our first heat race down in the books. Going to move into our next one. All right, guys, up next, Dirt Late Model Beginner, Tim Hall, Jamie Fulcher, Isaac Shepard, Bones. Now, the beginner class, remember, guys, that is a breakout of 3.8 seconds. If you go faster than that, you'll just lose your lap. Glenn Burton says, you know they will pick the flat track next week. Maybe they will. Maybe they won't. We'll just have to see. I don't even know if I'll have it done by next week. But I will give it my all. I got to, you see the start-finish line there. I got to build another start-finish line for it. But all my main focus has been for about the past week has been nothing but Alan Ingram's Flexi Challenge series. Cleaning tracks, setting up booths, doing the interviews, setting up TVs for the guys when they come here so they know who's up and everything else. Just trying to make it the best experience these guys have ever had come touring racing. Several guys are going to be coming in within the next few days, so we're excited about that too. All right, looks like we are missing one here. Tim Hall, Jamie Fulcher, Isaac Shepard, Bones. Looks like Jamie Fulcher waiting on him. He had to work on his car a while ago, so we'll see if he's getting her fixed now. Dad, you can set up here if you want. It's the third monitor. I just mirrored the monitor 2 with 3. Well, just HDMI out of the computer. All right, guys. Garrett, do you care to get in the middle over here and let Blake move over to the center here? All right, guys, here we go. And out of the gate, Tim Hall in the lead here. I got him. Tim Hall out in the lead. Kit Kat coming up below him here. Tim Hall and Kit Kat side by side here. Tim, give him a little room there. We see Bones coming up quick behind the Kit Kat. Only person yet to break out, it looks like, is Tim. Everybody else looks like they've had one breakout, possibly. I see a red node over there. And Tim is just holding it off. This looks like a NASCAR race almost. Kit Kat's giving it his all there. Isaac Shepard. Oh, Bones. We might see a change here. Bones is trying to make a move on Kit Kat of Isaac Shepard. Bones there in the blue and yellow car. Now back up about 2 car lengths or so. 15 laps remaining. Tim Hall's got it right now. Bones wanting to make a move, and he makes a dive bomb down low. What a slide job. Bones is hanging it out there. He's pushing Kit Kat low to make him scrape the wall just to get a little bit more as he's coming up on Tim now, gaining about, I would say, a quarter of a car length per lap right now. As Bones takes the inside on Jamie Fulcher, 9 laps to go. Tim Hall's running a smooth line, going to make it very difficult for Bones to catch that. But Bones is giving it everything he can to catch him, and he makes a good low tide move here as Tim takes the middle lane. We're seeing about a 3 car length difference between Tim Hall and Bones, Brad Gregory. Tim got a good boost off the back corner there, off of turn 2, now stretching his lead to a full corner. Oh, Bones hitting the wall, a little side-to-side contact with Jamie Fulcher, and that's it, folks. Congratulations, Tim Hall. No, we're still in the heats. All right, next up is going to be Super Dirt Late Model, Heat 1 of 2. Chris Henderson, Brandon Lee. T, could you get me a drink, please? Yes, thank you. Richie Austin, going to be a good time. Looking forward to it, though. I think we are going to leave early. It's about 6 to 6.5 hour drive. We appreciate that, Richie. Gabriel Kirtley, are you north of Atlanta or in Atlanta? Like I said, guys, this race coming this weekend, pretty big deal. Guys coming from far and wide, so we definitely want this to be the best experience that they've had because they've made the decision to come up here. So we've actually opened up an extra day or so for these guys to come and practice. You don't usually see that a lot of the times in traveling stuff, but we're kind of in the heart of the U.S., so guys really far up north or far down south have to travel pretty good to get to us. And Alan Ingram's Flexi Challenge is predominantly down south. I know Kentucky usually gets slotted in there with down south, but we're really right in the middle. If your car goes in it and drowns your car out, I'll give you $100. All right, guys, y'all ready? Here we go. All right, 2 cars out. Chris Henderson out to an early lead. Brandon Lee taking the high side. Chris Henderson flipping. Brandon Lee dive bombing down low. Still on the same lap. Chris Henderson taking a low approach here. Brandon Lee taking the high side here. Oh, it's a full come around there for, oh, Chris Henderson having some trouble there. The tire's gripping now a lap down from Brandon Lee. And here we go. Now we're seeing some wall riding here like we're used to seeing the past couple weeks. It's become the trend in the super late modified just to keep these cars from getting busted up down low. And Brandon Lee has got his car set to the high side. Will he make a slide job? And he does. He's up front now. Chris Henderson trying to get that front line speed he's needing. He really wants to see Brandon's car drop off power-wise, but Brandon has got a high-side hero here tonight. His car handling quite well up top. Oh, as he comes down low there on turn 4. 9 laps remaining. Brandon Lee in the lead by 3 laps. See Brandon Lee coming back up on Chris Henderson for another piece of that action. Getting up underneath Chris Henderson and flipping him in turn 2. Brandon Lee's going to wait on Chris on this one. Chris coming for revenge, and it was not done too good as Brandon brake checked him up, causing him to flip. 3 laps remaining. Brandon Lee is going to be bringing this one home for sure unless he has a car explosion. Well, I don't know. Brandon Lee flipping right now. All right, congratulations, Brandon. So we'll go ahead and finish that up. All right, guys, next up, Super Dirt Late Model. Heat 2 of 2. Jamie Fulcher, Blake Panel, Garrett Burden. Garrett Burden up there first. A good time right now while we're waiting on the racers. Special thanks to our sponsor, Livermore Subway, 270-278-5999. When you guys come down for Alan Ingram's Flexi Challenge, make sure you go next door. Show them that we appreciate them. They help us out here. They give big amounts of monies away to these slot car racers. So they're for the racing of slot cars. So definitely get you a foot long while you're down here, and some nachos too. All right, looks like Jamie Fulcher's got his car slotted in there. So we're waiting right now on Blake Panel to get his car up there. Hopefully Garrett's tires are in a little bit better shape than they were earlier. Looks like they're gripping a little bit here as he moves his car back and forth there. Blake Panel, I think, possibly got the wrong controller there. He's cleaning his tires now, front and rear. All right, let's see if he's got what it takes to get in this race here. All right, earlier, Jamie Fulcher, top qualifier. You guys ready? Here we go. And already out of the gate, we see a car flip. That is Blake Panel. And we see Jamie Fulcher down low. That's where he was running his fast time. Now catching up with Blake Panel here. Garrett Burden currently in the lead as Blake Panel goes flying again. Garrett Burden holding a steady line there, mid to high field. Only Blake Panel is just like popcorn flying around here right now. The 13 of Jamie Fulcher back in the mix. We see Blake Panel taking a quick eye at his car here. Jamie Fulcher's car coming out of 4 there, getting a little sideways. Garrett Burden running a nice diamond approach here. And right now, the fastest lap time, Garrett Burden, a 2.930, but Blake Panel, 2.980. Jamie Fulcher running a 3.240 currently. He's running that high side now. Oh, as he catches an edge there and his nose rolls on over. Angles are everything whenever you're running these for sure. If you turn too much, it'll come back around just like a real thing. If you turn too little, you're going to smack the wall. We see Garrett Burden, whoa, coming in there on an early contact here. So Jamie got his lap. It's going to give him another one, so we're going to have to take a lap there from him. Took a lap there from Jamie as he got 2 there when he flipped up underneath the lap counter. All right, congratulations, Garrett Burden. All right, guys, up next, Heat 1 of 1, Asphalt Late Model. Chris Henderson, Tim Hall, Blake Panel, Garrett Burden. All right, next up is going to be Chris Henderson, Tim Hall, Blake Pennell, and Garrett Burden. I think ball games and stuff with Jason. Softball, baseball, basketball, I think even. Yeah. Okay. All right. All right, Jamie, we need a track marshal. Jeff McMahon, I'm sorry I didn't get to make it there today. Jeff, that's all right, man. We understand. Weather's beautiful. Not to mention, you could be caught behind a lot of water. Yeah. Hey, Tim says, hey, Jeff. Everybody here saying, hey. Yeah, don't worry about it, man. I understand. Like, we know how the water's getting. We don't know if maybe you might be stuck behind some of that or not. Oh, Jeff, Tim's wanting me to let you know, and I guess I need to let you know, we won't be running Saturday. The Flexi Challenge will be here Saturday. So only racing will be going on then will be Flexi Challenge. Guys, ready? Here we go. Glenn says Jason's probably messing with his horse. He might be. Out to the front, Chris Henderson strong in that 51 Cold Trickle. Right behind him, Tim Hall in his yellow and orange neon color. Blake Pennell and Garrett Burden falling to the back of the pack on this one a little bit. What I've noticed with the asphalt late model class is pretty good class, this one and the dirt street stock, pretty good class for beginners is that I guess the body and stuff helps the cars push a little bit so they don't get it as loose coming out of the corners. But I will say this, is Garrett Burton gets a little bit of a love tap. Oh, and takes out Chris Henderson. Chris Henderson was hanging on to the lead. Now Tim Hall's taking over the lead there as Garrett Burton gave him the smooth, sweet job there. 15 laps left to go here, heat one. This is going to set these guys up for the main features here. And he's going underneath Tim Hall. We got 11 laps left to go. Chris Henderson definitely strong in this class. Like I said, fastest lap time right now, 3.910. He's a good tenth of a second faster than anybody. Now he's coming back up against Garrett Burden. We'll see if Garrett Burden wants to roughhouse. He doesn't. He's going to let him go this time. 7 laps remaining. And if Chris Henderson can get Blake Pano, he would have lapped the whole field here. He's got 4 laps to do it in. The old mellow yellow 51 has done it as he makes the pass on the inside of the 96 of Blake Pano. 1 lap remaining, and he's going to bring it home. Congratulations, Chris. I want to finish up this race here. Gabber Kirtley says, these 1RC cars are really fun. Yes, they are. And I'll tell you, Gabe, that flat track, I built it last week. You know I called you out. I said, come on down here. I'm going to mess you up. Because that flat track's fun. I had a pretty good time with it. That flat track widening kit should be here Friday. So exciting for that. We should have that thing built. As soon as we get it built, we'll post a picture of it. Now, we're not going to keep it out. We don't want kids running around on the track doing that, acting like they're race cars and tear our track up. So after every race, we'll end up pulling that track. Plus, that leaves some open area there in case we get a lot of racers. We can put more tables down and stuff like that and have a little bit more open area now that we move the pinballs closer to the windows. All right, guys, next up, Dirt Street Stock, Tim Hall, Garrett Burden, Jamie Fulcher, and Bones. Richie Austin says, yeah, I'll have to check those out. Yeah, Richie, you'll have a blast, man. I'm telling you, they're fun. And I'll tell you right now, this is a very, very unique track built by Randy Kirtley, surfaced by me and my wife. And it's an interesting surface, to say the least. It's not what you would normally see on a racetrack. A little more difficult to run, but once you get it mastered, you feel a sense of accomplishment. I have yet to master it, but Garrett Burton seems to have gotten it figured out, and so has Tim. They're pretty smooth when it comes to it. Gabriel's even pretty good at it in the super late model for sure if he can keep the rear end under his car. So right now, it looks like we're missing Garrett Burton. Now, Garrett Burton had some slick tire issues here early on. We'll see if he got those tires fixed up there. All right, guys, if you ain't racing, please help track marshal. What we got here? Open late model? Okay. I'll get it right after this race. So you want this as your main transponder number? Okay. All right, guys, here we go. What? Okay. I didn't see him back there. I thought we had everybody. Gabriel Kirtley says we will have another track. It is the RCP flat track. Yeah, we actually have it. Yeah. All right, guys, here we go. Yeah, we're just waiting on a widening kit. They come in. It's really meant for like mini Bs, mini Zs. So we got a widening kit to make it a little bit wider than this track you're watching right now, so the guys can more competitively race each other. But I will say this: those kits are not cheap, to say the least. But you get what you pay for. Anybody can go to like Harbor Freight and get the $20 kits, but I will say this: they don't grip like the RCP tracks do. That's why they charge so much. The RCP tracks are definitely what you want when you're running these type of cars. Jamie Fulcher out in the lead right now in that beautiful 13 purple, white, and black car. Tim Hall right there behind him, though. And Tim's wanting a piece of the action here for sure, as he's about a corner back from Jamie Fulcher. Jamie Fulcher, he's been bringing his A game for about the past 3 weeks here. He's really been working on these cars and trying to figure out how to get them to hook up and handle. And he has got this car to where it's not pushing, which is a rarity in this class, as these cars tend to want to push to the high outside. And he's got his car to where it can run the low mids, and that's fast. So Jamie Fulcher right now, you can see 3.890. That was his fastest lap right there, that last lap. So Jamie Fulcher is putting it in work right there for sure. 12 laps remaining here in our last heat race. Coming up, we'll be going into the mains. I think the guys want to take a 10-minute break in between the mains. They've all voted on that a couple weeks ago, and we're good with that to let them get their batteries recharged and get them a little bit of side time. That gives us a little bit of time to talk about our sponsors and upcoming events here at Lanes Raceway, so we're good with that too. Like I said, Jamie Fulcher down on the inside bones right there, STP, yellow and blue. Ooh, almost gets the back end of Jamie Fulcher, but Jamie Fulcher is going to make his way out just a little bit quicker. Coming on the bottom side of Garrett Burton. Garrett Burton's car looks a little dead in comparison, like he's about out of juice in that battery possibly. 2 laps remaining. This is Jamie Fulcher's race, to say the least. He's been holding it in there and hanging tough. So we get 2 cars out. All right, congratulations, Jamie Fulcher. All right, guys, y'all want to take a 10-minute break? Okay. All right, guys, we're going to go ahead and get the schedule updated here. Oops, there we go. And it needs to be a main. We're going to go ahead and generate that. So we're going to go ahead and move into the A main on that one and trash that. And the same thing for the B main in the dirt late model beginners. Since there's only one racer, we'll just go ahead and move them up. All right, Jamie and Blake's going to have to battle it out on that one. But Garrett Burton's going to move on up in the asphalt. And Garrett's going to move up in the dirt street stock too. So that should get everything. Now we need to go back over here to the drivers real quick, because I have a late change for the open late model for Blake Panel. And this is Super Dirt. And it's going to be a transponder change. So we'll go ahead and add that. 1646, got it. And now we're good at the racing. All right. All right, guys. Special thanks to our sponsor, Livermore Subway, 270-278-5999. These guys have supported us the past year when it comes to slot car racing in the Four Crowns here at Lanes Raceway, offering up $1,000 for the racers to win in that series. So we do appreciate them. So we would appreciate if when you guys come, please stop over to Livermore Subway, get you a big old sub sandwich, get you their new nachos, and anything else that you want to get. Uh, Other than that, thank you guys. Garrett looks like Garrett Burton. Garrett, is this a new transponder? Oh, never mind. One second, folks. All right, Richie Austin. I've been looking at buying the smallest RCP road course and put it in a garage with mini Z's and low C micro B's. I haven't raced RC since I was in school. Well, I'll tell you what, Richie. I raced on it over here by our change machine where our pinball machines used to be last week, and I'll tell you what, they are fun to race on. These tracks definitely made for the Mini Z. Um, I would say the 50 millimeter is the way that you want to go, not the 30 millimeter. The 30 millimeter might be a little narrow for Mini Zs. I'm not saying you couldn't get by with it if you're like extremely skilled. You might be extremely skilled at it because we know you're pretty skilled to say the least when it comes to slot car racing. But that would be a choice you would want to make. I like a little more room coming out of corners and stuff. But yeah, the RCP track definitely high quality stuff there. We see Brandon running Garrett Burton's car here. Don't forget also that our shirts are in here. As you know, it says order these shirts now for the best price. That's already been ordered, but we can take a little bit of a bigger look here. Make these a little bit bigger. So all of the shirts, if you've ordered them, especially for the Flexi Challenge, that'll be your shirts there in the middle. And those shirts will be here for you this week. They're already over there in the box, and they do look good. I've already worn my Flexi Challenge once, and it's beautiful. The late model shirts here for the 1RC guys, they're going to pick those up tonight, and they came out great too. The list, Eat, Sleep, Drag Race, that's what they do, and they made the list. That's all the names of the guys that were in the list race here at Lanes Raceway. So they're going to be getting their shirts here probably come next week. Some of them probably already got them. Nonetheless, we thank those guys for doing that. Don't forget, guys, April the 12th here. Let me move it over there so you can see. April the 12th, 2025, Alan Gingram's Flexi Challenge. It's going to be a time and a half. We're going to be having a blast here. Special commentator Blake Smith from Let's Talk Racing going to be commentating here in the booth where I'm at. I'm going to actually be out there on the other set of bleachers with a kill button in hand to be a secondary backup in case things get overwhelming and we need to kill the track pretty quick if there's a lot of wrecks or something like that where it needs to be done. Just to give the best racing experience, the most fair racing experience that one could have. Mid-America here, slotcarstore.net. Roger Smith gave him a call before the Flexi Challenge, just as some extra incentives for the guys coming and racing here at Lanes Raceway. We appreciate Roger giving out some goodies for guys racing Mid-America products. So we're excited for this race to take place, and that's this Saturday, folks. It's going to be a big event. A lot of people coming just to watch this race, let alone race it. I think last I had heard that there's going to be like 35 people going to be running in this race. That's big when it comes to slot car racing, guys, especially when this ain't like a nationals or nothing. But just to put in perspective, these guys that are racing in this class are not to be trifled with. Some of the best racers in America going to be here in little old Livermore, Kentucky. Me and my brothers joked around about it the past couple of days, saying, you know, they're going to roll up in here into Livermore and they're going to be like, what is this world-class track doing in this little bitty town? But, you know, that is the case. That's where we're at. We're in a perfect spot, really, when it comes to slot car racing. You know, we're right there dead in the middle of the U.S. here on the eastern side of the U.S. So you can, we're about 4 hours away from everywhere, really. Uh, so it's good to be where we're at, even though it is in a small town. I love small towns. I grew up here my whole life. I love Livermore, Kentucky. A very low violent area to be. This is a type of town that is like Andy Griffith style. You can leave your doors unlocked, and everybody waves at you going down the street. So definitely a good place to have a track, even though it is a little bit more impoverished. But maybe in the future, our county comes together and we can maybe get some money flowing through here a little bit, make it a little less impoverished, maybe spruce this town up a little bit. That'd be great. Some of the projects taking place here in Livermore, currently at the talking with Ralph Thacker, is a mercantile downtown where Randy Kirtley used to have his Blue King track. So they're trying to get the roof put on that, and we'll have a little mercantile down there. A lot of people in bigger cities be like, man, well, a mercantile, that ain't that big of a deal. But, in a little town like this, it would mean quite a bit. Not to mention some talks about linking a 2 times trail town off of 6th Street, uh, and maybe getting some golf carts to be able to go through there too. That would be great. We'd like to see that happen. Uh, but if you're looking for a place to stay here in Livermore, another shout out to Ralph Thacker. He has the River Trails Inn on Airbnb. You can check it out here in Livermore, Kentucky. A nice little house right downtown Livermore, right next to the Mason Building and the post office. And it's right there smack dab in the middle of town. Good area to be in. Plenty of parking there off the side of the road. If you're looking for a place to stay in town during the Flexi Challenge, I don't know if it's still available, but you can definitely look that up on Airbnb and see. All right, we're going to head back on over here to our main event here tonight, 1RC Racing. As you guys know, the Dirt Late Model Standard is 4 points, and that is coming up next. And that is, I wish that was actually the last race, being that's the one for points. But nonetheless, they're racing for points here. Somebody's going to hoist up a big, huge check, says first place at the end of all of this. And it's been a good series. The guys have been very patient with me and my brother and my dad trying to get some rules established here. Because if you've ever run 1RC, the standard 1RC rules are very, very vague. And it's hard to get anything really locked down to keep the guys really, really equal out of the gate. So we've been working on that. I think we've established a pretty good set of rules here. So when we come into our next series, it'll be a piece of cake. Richie Austin looking to buy that RCP track. Like I said, great investment. I know I kind of went off on a tangent there. Went hardcore off on a tangent. But nonetheless, RCP track's a cool track to have, to say the least. But if you're wanting to spend big bucks, Richie Austin, tell you what you need to spend the big bucks on. We got pinball machines here for sale at Lanes Raceway, $5,500 a pop, and if you look that up, that's pretty cheap. We got some pretty good name brand pinball machines here. We even got the new Venom, and it's actually for sale for $5,500. So if you're looking to take a pinball machine home with you, we'll load you up. A lot of people have been asking, why are you selling all the pinball machines? Well, we've had these pinball machines for right at every one of them, since we've been open, but we've had our last one for about a year. I think the last time we got it was around September, I believe. So everybody's just kind of wanting some of the newer ones. So we're wanting to sell these off at a pretty good price for you guys. That way we can, get into some of the newer pinball machines. And like I said, we're going to be starting up some pinball tournaments here in the next series. We got some good stuff coming next series. Outrunning, going to be taking place for the kiddos. Going to be doing some pinball tournament action throughout, having a little springtime series with that. It's getting lively back into pinball. That's why we moved the pinballs up front, so when people go by, they can see everybody playing pinball, going as hard as they can on it. And then we also have the NASCAR hard bodies and the old school NASCAR hard bodies going to be raced on the blue track, orange track. And we're also going to be racing flat track action for the RC. So that's going to be really cool. All right, guys. First race up, Dirt Late Model Standard. Blake Panel, Tim Hall, Garrett Burden, Isaac Shepard. All right, Guillermo Sire, at what time are you opening Friday? Taking the day off work. All right, Guillermo, here's how it is on Friday. 10 in the morning to 10 at night. It's going to be a huge day of practice. Tomorrow, I think they're bringing some kind of atomizer or something like that to spray the track. We're right now about halfway clean, and we're going to try to do a little bit of cleaning here after everybody gets done racing, and try to at least get all the way to halfway. That way, whenever they get here, they can start atomizing half of the track, and we can get the other half done, or maybe even more than that. Depends on if I get a wild hair or not. It's going to be, where's Blake Panel? Yeah, yeah. Well, when you run your car, I'll swap you in. So just get your car ready in the standard class and get it out there. I'll swap you in with whatever one you got. Garrett Burton getting his car put in. It looks like Blake Panel having issues with his car. He's going to put her down. Now this is the A main tee, so you'll need to get a picture of the three racers. Okay. All right, guys, y'all ready? Here we go. All right, so Blake Panel's going to pop up here. We're going to have to get him swapped in here. I hate that you have to type the name in. It's highly annoying to all racers when that happens. But now everything's on the up and up. Looks like Blake Panel currently out in the lead. Tim Hall with the best lap time of 3.870 as he's right there behind the Kit Kat mobile. And looks like he make the pass on the low inside. He's now about a corner difference between him and Blake Panel. Blake Panel hitting the low side of turn 4. Tim gaining a little bit there. Now a little less than a corner difference between them. Tim Hall right there on the high outside there as he swaps up there with Garrett Burden. Tim Hall was running faster there down low. Now Tim Hall, Blake Panel, and Garrett all side by side. Oh, as we get a little roughhousing done here. Garrett Bird now in second position. Blake Panel in first. 22 laps remaining. Still anybody's race. Anything can happen. Kit Kat out there as Tim Hall and Kit Kat exchanged a little bit of roughhousing there a little bit. All right, headset died there for a second. You guys know the deal. Late panel, Garrett Burden currently on the same lap here, still battling out. Tim Hall wrecked car there. Hey, Brandon, when they wreck right there, we need to try to get them put back on. Tim Hall currently in third position. Isaac Shepard fourth. Now Blake Panel about a lap in front of Garrett here. Garrett breaching that gap there. They're about 3 or 4 car lengths different from one another. 5 laps remaining. Oh, Tim Hall and Blake Panel, the leader, getting involved a little bit there. Tim getting his car swapped back over. Oh, a little love nudge there sends Garrett Burden. All right, congratulations, Blake Panel. Blake, Garrett, Tim, please go get your pictures. Look over each other's cars. If y'all have any protests, please let me know. Tim Hall with the fastest lap time there, 3.870. That was scorching fast there. All right. Blake, Garrett, and Tim's going to get their pictures. Blake's going to get a A-Main sticker here. That's going to get him one step closer to hoisting that big check. G-Main Kane, let's go. Let's go indeed. So after the pictures, it's going to be Dirt Late Model Beginner. Tim Hall, Bones, Isaac Shepard, Jamie Fulcher. All right, guys, up next, Dirt Late Model Beginner, Tim Hall, Bones, Isaac Shepard, Jamie Fulcher. Late Model Beginner has a 3.8 second cutoff time, so if they run a 3.799, they're done. They will lose that lap. They run a 3.8 though, they're good. That is the cutoff time. So, but they cannot run a 3.799. Tim Hall is going to be out front on this one, followed by Bones, Isaac Shepard, and Jamie Fulcher. Jamie, you'll need to be in fourth position. Isaac's in third. All right, guys, if you're not racing, please help track marshal. Say, if you don't mind, bring that tablet around front here. It's getting bad connection. Blake, Garrett, we need track marshals. Racers, y'all good with that or no? Take him help track marshal since Blake's being a little girl. See, if you don't mind, just get this side of the corner here. Track marshal, please. All right, guys, here we go. Out of the gate, we're seeing Tim Hall out front in the beginners. All right, when you set that to driver. And Tim Hall about a car length or so in front of Kit Kat. What a slide job down low. Narrowly missing the front end of the Kit Kat. Isaac Shepard there in the Kit Kat Mobile, second position here. But we see Jamie Fulcher making quick moves to try to gain up. Bones also was quick early on. As we go side by side through the corner, Tim Hall and Kit Kat side by side. Jamie Fulcher out in turn 3. Tim Hall now taking over second position. The Kit Kat mobile of Isaac Shepard taking the lead. Oh, a little bump draft there through turn 2. Both these guys running the low side. That is the key. It's looking in this class to turn as fast as you can here. Close racing here. Jamie Fulcher there in his second wreck there. That's going to put him there in 4th position. Bones only 1 lap down. Tim and the Kit Kat mobile of Isaac Shepard been battling all race long, keeping it within, a car length or so. Bones' car gets flipped through the front stretch. We see Kit Kat side by side with Tim Hall. A little roughhousing taking place there on the front stretch. There's still about a car length difference between each other. It's been a tight race between these two. 3rd position there. Bones, 17 laps, 1 lap down. Jamie Fulcher. Jamie Fulcher right there currently behind Tim Hall in the yellow and orange car. Isaac Shepard driving his heart out down low, keeping that car as low as he possibly can, and it is working, folks. Very, very hard to catch him. No one is even close to breaking out. Isaac the closest with a 3.890. Everybody else about 1/10 of a second off at that time. So everybody could smoothly jump up by about 1/10 of a second, which is about 3 car lengths on a straight stretch. Here comes Tim Hall. It looks like he's making some gains here in the diamonding portion of this. And he's actually catching just a little bit of that air, that dirty air of the Kit Kat car. Now running down low with Isaac Shepard. 18 laps remaining. It's a very close race between Tim and Isaac. Hard to peel the eyes off of these two, as Isaac has been running his technique down low and the grip is staying. But Tim is making that diamond coming out of turn 2, gaining just a little bit more top end. And he's able to get just a little bit more pressure put down in turn 3 or 4. Isaac, of course, making it up there in turn 1 and 2, staying so low. So it's 10 laps remaining, and it's still anybody's ball game. And here comes Bones in the blue and yellow car. Tim Hall's now got it within 2 car lengths. 6 laps remaining. Can he make a move this late in the game? If he's going to do it, he needs to do it now. Isaac Shepard, he's been icy cold down low. 2 laps remaining. Isaac Shepard's holding it in the Kit Kat. New livery coming next week. All right, congratulations, Isaac Shepard. Good race. Isaac Shepard, Tim Hall, Bones. Please go get your picture. What are you doing? Test, test. Headset. All right, looks like headset's good. Gabriel Kirtley, April 10th, 5 through 9. Friday, April the 11th, 10 to 10. Saturday, the 12th, 8 a.m. DTM qualifying at 9:30. That is the best class we have. Let me finish that race. I almost didn't finish that race. Next race is Super Dirt Late Model, B Main, Jamie Fulcher, Blake Panel. All right, next up, Super Dirt Late Model, B Main, Jamie Fulcher, Blake Panel. Gabriel says that's the best class we have, and that is the beginner class here at Lanes Raceway, the Late Model 2.0. Here's the beauty about it, folks. You can come in here to Lanes Raceway for $209, get a car right out of the box. The way that it comes, it will run those times. So that's why everybody loves that class. It's so competitive, so close. Like you just seen right there, Tim Hall and the Kit Kat of Isaac Shepard. It literally just boiled down to who scraped the wall the least. So it requires a lot of consistency, a lot of mind dedication, and a little bit of trigger control even, just to keep yourself mentally there when it comes to that class. Yeah, it's a slower class. It's not as builder friendly, I guess you would say, but that's what it's meant to be. You get 5 wins, you're out of the beginners class, and you have to move up to standard. And the standards class is what they are running for the points, and that was ran right before that. Standard class, you can change everything about the car other than the 10,000K motor and LiPo, but you can run any 1RC part as long as it's within the class. Racers, y'all ready? Here we go. Now, this will be a 25 lap B main. Somebody's going to get a B main sticker here. And we see Jamie Fulcher's car flipping over. One of these guys will get bumped to the A. And Jamie Fulcher, he did qualify best, so he was able to get first position in the heat race, but he didn't do so good in the heat race, and that causes him to have to be here in the B main, battling it out with Blake Pennell to try to see who's going to get bumped up. Now we see a little bit more concentration here from Jamie now as his car's forming pretty well. Jamie does have a quick car, but he's got to keep it off the wall, to say the least. As a lot of these guys have issues pushing with these cars early on. When we had a lot of these cars running this class, it would dry slick out the track a little bit. But right now, as we got a lot of these guys running the high side is their main technique. And it tends to work as long as your car's faster than the next guy running the high side. If not, it doesn't work so good. Right now, Blake Pennell is in the lead by a lap. And his best lap time of 3.170 in his car. We see Jamie Fulcher's car bouncing back and forth off the walls there. And it's gripping hard, causing the car to flip. All right, Jamie Fulcher, 1 lap with a breakout. He's going to get that second lap there. Guys, move him away from the start finish, please. He's going to lose 1 lap there. All right, congratulations, Blake Pennell. Blake, you're going to get bumped. Next up, Super Dirt Late Model A Main, Garrett Burden, Brandon Lee, Chris Henderson, Blake Pennell. Chris is telling everybody that he will be up against the wall. Gabriel said that the beginner late model class is the best class. Now, in my opinion, when you get the best racers out here, this is my favorite class. It is so unpredictable, so radical. It's far enough wheelbase that you got some guys running the high side, some guys running the low side. If everything's on the up and up and you got good racers here in the A main, this is an exciting class in my opinion. I really do like it. But I do understand Gabriel's point of view that he likes that class. Uh, but I don't know. I really enjoy this class. My favorite class, though, I wish more people would get into it, is the sprint car class because them cars are radical. And the guys that really can handle them, Tim Hall and Garrett Burden, probably the best two we got here that can handle those cars. It looks good when they do it. It's real smooth. And I guess the reason I like it so much is because I've drove them, and they are a handful. They're super hard to drive. So watching those guys do it, I know how much uh, it costs to be able to run those things at that skill level. All right, looks like we're missing one racer here, Blake Pennell, and he possibly might have an issue with his transponder. He's been having transponder issues here. All right, guys, y'all ready? Here we go. And already a hard wreck. Garrett Burden, Chris Henderson involved in it. So we've seen Jamie Fulcher trying his best to get Garrett Burden, and it gets involved with Chris Henderson again. Now we see Brandon Lee transponder car off for Chris Henderson. Chris Henderson dive bombing down low as he's running backwards here now. Doing anything in his power to get that car swapped back over. Now back up on his lid. Like I said, these guys, it's quick. Chris Henderson running that high side now, trying to stay out of trouble. Brandon Lee, his car coming down. Bones doing his best. He's good at getting those cars there on the back stretch. Blake Panel currently in the lead. 8 laps. Brandon Lee 8, Garrett 8, Chris Henderson 7. As we see some high side rolling there from Chris Henderson. Chris Henderson going to play the tactic he did last week, trying to stay out of trouble and hope these guys wreck each other. It's paid off with him in one race and almost got him the race last week as the car started slowing down low towards the end of the race. Brandon Lee involved in an incident on the backstretch. Also, Blake Panel, Garrett Burden gets hit by Blake Panel and flipped back over. Blake Panel and Brandon Lee both involved in an incident. As we see Garrett involved in an incident again, we're seeing Chris Henderson climb the ranks now. Chris Henderson now currently in second. Garrett Burden in first. So the high side hero, Chris Henderson, it's paying off again this week, it looks like, as he's staying out of the mess from the guys down low. If you can drive it down low, you're good. But Blake and Garrett involved in an incident. As we see Jamie Fulcher eliminated out of the B main, helping track marshal here. Brandon Lee there in the 22, nosediving hard on the backstretch there, trying to stay out of trouble here. Chris Henderson now in the lead, high side hero, just getting passed by Garrett Burden though. Chris Henderson currently there in second position, and his technique is working. Brandon Lee trying to work on his car. He might have a busted shock or something possibly, as we see Blake Panel, a little too much grip as he flips. And now we got Garrett Burden there running a pretty good diamond, the best you can possibly. The front end actually lifting coming out of 2. A little side-by-side action. Garrett's now found his rhythm as he takes out Blake Panel in the 96, and there goes Brandon Lee flying into my wife's side. Hopefully she's all right there. 10 laps remaining. Garrett Burden in the lead by 1 lap. Chris Henderson going to try to do his best to catch back up. It's now about a half of a lap difference between first and second. Garrett Burden and Chris Henderson. 7 laps remaining. Blake Panel on his lid by the front stretch there. As we see Garrett Burden dive bomb down low. He's 1 lap up. Garrett Burden wrecking here. And here comes Chris Henderson. Chris Henderson now going to take the lead. 3 laps remaining. Oh, as we see a wreck yet again. 1 lap remaining. 1 lap remaining. Chris, is he going to pull it off this week? Is it possible? Chris is going to get it with 3 laps remaining, pulling it up out of the back, high side hero style. It pays off again. 1 week off from it paying off, and here he comes. Slides in there on Garrett. Garrett having 3 wrecks there towards the end. Like I said, guys, this is my favorite class. We're going to need helmets, is what Bones said. All right, congratulations, Chris Henderson, on that slide job, 3 laps. Hey, I don't know if it's luck. So last week you didn't get it, but you did pop up into first. They passed you with about 5 laps. The week before that, you did the exact same thing that you did this week. High sides away. Yeah, just got to stay out of trouble. Chris Henderson first, Garrett Burden second, Blake Panel third. Chris going to nail himself another A-main sticker here at Lanes Raceway. Gabriel Kirtley, will those run on a normal slot car track? Yes, NSXs will run on a normal slot car track. They are analog. And the NSXs, believe it or not, are handmade. For those that don't know, the NSXs are handmade Beautiful cars. I just seen the McLaren. If you've checked out Gale Force Raceway, he's got a few of the HOs and a few of those cars he shows sometimes on his sites. So definitely check him out too, Gale Force Raceway. He's got a lot of the HO slash collector's cars, I guess you would say, NSX. I need to finish this race instead of running my chopper. Here we go. All right, guys, next up is going to be Asphalt Late Model, A Main, Chris Henderson, Tim Hall, Blake Panel, Garrett Burton. And Tim Hall's got his car on first. He's currently in second position. Chris Henderson will be in first. Chris Henderson's been kind of walking away with this class today. His car a lot faster than it was last week. The 51 showing good progress. Now, last week we seen the 51 catching an edge coming out of 4, just a little too much grip. So Chris has worked a little bit on that car now. We don't see the car flipping anymore coming out of 4. So pretty cool there. Third position is going to be Blake Panel and Garrett Burton there in fourth. We see Garrett Burton cleaning off his tires right now. He's got a clear car here. He's not yet got it painted. We got this race and one more to go, folks, and that'll be it for this week. Like I said, congratulations to Ed Howe on getting the drawing for the super late model here at Lanes Raceway. He's got 1 week to come pick that baby up, or we'll draw again next Tuesday. All right. Guys, if you're not racing, please help track marshal. All right, guys. Here we go. A little glitch in the TV there, sound-wise. Nonetheless, we are green racing. The 51 out to an early lead, followed by Tim Hall in the yellow and orange neon car. Down low to him, Garrett Burton in the clear car as he tries to go up on Tim Hall and gets spun out. Tim Hall was just a rock-solid driver there. Was able to keep his own constitution. 51 out in front of everybody else right now as we see Garrett wrecking again there in that clear car. Now, we seen earlier in his qualifying, it seemed like there was a little bit of a bind in that car, possibly too tight on the wheels, bearings, or something, man. It just seems like it's bound up compared to the other cars. Now, one car that isn't bound up is that mellow yellow 51 Cole Trickle car that Chris Henderson's driving as he comes up on the inside of Tim Hall. But it's a nice, clean little run between the two. Both of them making it nice and successful. Tim Hall and Blake Panel in a little bit of contact there. Oh, as they both get into contact, now I got to keep an eye on here. Tim yet to get the lap, now getting the lap. There we go. So he didn't get a double lap there. Like I said, these cars are pretty consistent on power. This 51 is just showing out today for some reason. As we get two cars doing the same thing here. 32 laps remaining. Chris Henderson getting up underneath Tim Hall. Looks like Tim Hall's right front's jacked up on his car. I don't know if there's an issue with the shock there or what's going on there. But whatever it is, he's able to control it. I mean, 51 still in the lead by 2 laps. Garrett Burton currently in second. Tim Hall holding on to that third position. Now, Tim Hall and Blake Panel on the same lap. Blake Panel there with the yellow nose, blue middle, and purple behind. As he gets passed by our 2 leaders here. And the 51 on his lid, now just 1 lap down. Oh, it's the 51 on his lid again, getting in contact with Tim Hall. Now Garrett Burton and Chris Henderson currently on the same lap. Chris Henderson still hanging on to it. Tim Hall 2 laps down from Garrett Burton, and Blake Panel 1 lap down from Tim. We got 16 laps remaining here as Garrett Burton takes out the leader. Battery hanging out. and going around the rear wheel. We might see a change in leadership here. Garrett Burton now in first place. Bones trying his best. He's back in the race. Garrett Burton 1 lap up. Tim Hall now in second. Chris Henderson in third. We got 11 laps. Chris has got to do some work as he makes a pass on the low side of Tim Hall here. That puts him on the same lap as Tim. He's got to come all the way back around. He's been the strongest racer all race long, but one incident causes the battery to come out. Sometimes that's how it is. 5 laps remaining. We see, he's caught Garrett Burton, and he's going to put Garrett Burton in third position. Tim Hall, now your leader. Garrett Burton's still your leader. Oh, they're side by side. Okay. Garrett Burton, Tim Hall side by side. 2 laps remaining. The 51 on its lid, on its side, drives it out. And it's going to give it to Garrett Burton. Tim Hall in second. How close was that finish? 0.2 of a second between Garrett and Tim on the finish there. Garrett Burton is going to get it first, but man, what a close race. Chris Henderson there had it all race long. The battery dropping out of the back of it cost him. Garrett Burton, Tim Hall, Chris Henderson for your pictures. Asphalt late model. So we're going to go ahead and finish this race up here. Richie Austin, we have also raced them at Bill's Track in Tennessee on a large regular slot car track. No magnet, foam rear tires. That's really the only way to drive those type of NSX cars or model cars is the foam tires. JK makes them, 332nd axle, and you can swap them out. If you're running those hard rubber, the silicone tires they come with, they drift around the track, which probably wouldn't be too bad on a flat track. But any kind of bank track is going to send them cars flying. All right, guys, last race of the evening is going to be Dirt Street Stock A Main. Jamie Fulcher, Tim Hall, Bones, Garrett Burton. So Chris coming off of a win there in the super late model, and then taking such a hard hit there, causing his battery to pop out on the start-finish line. Bad state of affairs there in the asphalt late model class. But pretty good racing nonetheless. Right now we got Jamie Fulcher holding his car in the STP action of Bones. It's going to be a good race here. Special thanks to our sponsor, Livermore Subway, right next door to us. Definitely stop in and get you a sub sandwich here in Livermore. Come on over and run some slot cars with us. Garrett Burton pulling the slime off his car. These bodies have those coats, so if you paint it, you can pull that off and you don't get no overspray on your body. Like panel looking at me with intent while on the phone. So right now we're just waiting on Garrett Burton as he just got fresh off of Grandpa Garrett, coming fresh off of a podium picture. He's going to get his car here. Now, like I said, we did see them tires spin like crazy earlier, so maybe he's got enough treatment in them to get him a little grip here. All right, guys, if you ain't racing, please help Track Marshal. 50 lap A Main Dirt Street Stock. Tell you, we might need you here for some track marshaling. If you look over there in the little screen there to your left, you can see a big 65-inch TV. Now, that's and our new spot for RC racers over here to the right. Whenever the flat track gets installed, I'm sure it's going to be a hot spot, to say the least, for RC racing. All right, guys, here we go. And the racers are underway. Butterflies in their belly, but that'll straighten out as we make through the first lap here. Oh, Tim Hall and Jamie Fulcher into a little bit of contact there out of the first corner. Tim Hall's car really quick. Garrett Burden, second place. Jamie Fulcher first. Tim Hall third. Garrett Burden with the fastest lap right now. Nope, Tim Hall with the fastest lap, 4.10. Tim Hall's coming with a vengeance. And there's Garrett Burden. He's about 3 car lengths or 4 car lengths from Tim Hall. Tim Hall made a great come off of turn 4 as he makes the pass on the inside. Him and Garrett getting involved a little bit. Now Tim Hall in second position as he's rushing hard up on Jamie Fulcher's 13, currently our leader. And he's making dividends here as 13 hits the wall and goes down low. Tim Hall's going to be taking over the lead here. Tim Hall with a nice diamond approach here. The car seems to be working excellently today. So he's coming up on the backside of Bones. Tim Hall has this car perfectly tuned here for the dirt street stock class. Oh, Tim Hall's off on the backstretch. He's getting it straightened out. Going to see Jamie Fulcher now take back over the lead. Tim Hall right there on his backside. We see Bones there in an incident. Tim Hall now back in the lead. Tim Hall coming up on Garrett Burden's number 5 black and yellow cars. He makes a pass on the inside. Both of them run each other clean there. Jamie Fulcher still second position. As we see Bones spun out on the backstretch there. He's waiting for people to clear. We're going to see Brandon flop him over there, get him back on normal running ground there. He's lost the handling. He's got some issues going on with the car as his car slaps to the high side there. Possible that he might have a shock or something out on the car. You see Jamie Fulcher there still hanging in there in second position. Garrett Burden 2 laps down from Jamie. Tim Hall running super smooth there in his car. Garrett Burden saying that his car's starting to get a little slick out there. So we see Tim Hall make a nice clean pass down low. He's right there behind Bones right now in the STP car. And they're running pretty close together. Bones coming up on the high side of Tim, taking them both out there. Keep an eye here on Bones as he gets a lap. Did he get another lap? I don't know if he did or not. I think he's all right. Oh, 3 cars involved in an incident here. Tim going to get a broke out on that lap. He's 2 laps up on Jamie Fulcher currently. And 4 laps different from Jamie to Garrett. Jamie is running an exceptional race here in the street stock class tonight. So we see several cars wrecked on the backstretch. We're going to see Tim Hall take it home. Congratulations, Tim Hall. Tim Hall with a 3.980 fastest. Fastest time turn was a 3.460. That was probably a turnaround there on Bones. He probably needs a lap deducted, but we'll go ahead since he's in 4th, not worry about it. Finish that up. All right, Tim, Jamie, and Garrett, please go get your pictures. All right, guys, what another eventful race here at Lanes Raceway in the 1RC late model class here, standard now, not beginner, as the guys have now got that all situated. Points are going to get added up. We got a couple weeks left, and that's it, folks. Somebody's going to be hoisting up that big first place check and taking that home with them or putting it up on the wall for bragging rights here at Lanes Raceway. Either way, it's going to be great fun. These guys have been having a good time. excited to see how they can do on the flat track when we get it installed here, because I made it extra fat and extra wide. And just between me and you, don't tell them because they're probably not listening right now. But I got a little surprise for them when it comes about midway through next season. Uh, Let me just put it this way: it's an infinity sign, but turned upside down. Uh, and we'll just see how things go. But we got some other things planned here at Lanes Raceway. Demolition Derby, I think the guys were talking about on the inside of the oval. And then we might even have to do a little bit of car soccer, maybe. I've got ideas for car soccer, if you know what I'm talking about. I've already got an idea of how to actually get it red, too, so that's going to be pretty cool. So stay tuned for that. Those will be special events, of course. Do not forget, this is the week of the Flexi Challenge Series. Now, the next live stream you're going to see with me will be Saturday, Flexi Challenge. You're going to be seeing Blake Smith up here commentating, if all goes well and the weather don't keep him from us, but I hope it doesn't. And then that'll be our next live stream, and that'll be Saturday. So up until then, the guys are going to be coming in from all over the U.S., traveling, coming in, staying over in Owensboro, Central City area, over here. It's going to be exciting times. We're getting that stuff set up. It's been an eventful past couple of days. I've had overhead lines ran. I've set this thing up, new TV right over here for the guys to be able to see in the new pit area for those guys. Plenty of seating room here. It's going to be a blast. We've got a full stock of parts and even more parts coming tomorrow for our slot car racer. So it's going to be a great, great, great race. The Alan Ingram's Flexi Challenge here at Lanes Raceway. But guys, thank you for sticking around as long as you did. If you like what you see here, like, share, and subscribe. Get it out there to other race fans, and hopefully we can have us a really good commentary for the Flexi Challenge coming Saturday. It's going to be a blast, guys. Interviews and all, if you're willing to do it. That includes you, Richie. Maybe, Richie, you stop in and do an interview with Blake, or you can even talk to me. I'll be over there in the pits on some of your off time. I think they're saying there's going to be three heats, so an A main, a B main, and a C main. And in one of those, you'll be able to get your break. During your break, don't forget to go to Livermore Subway, 270-278-5999. If you call in, I think you get a little bit of a discount too. So definitely get you some Subway while you're here traveling from out of town. If you got any questions or anything about that upcoming event that's fixing to take place, just know that Thursday is going to be our only other race that we're going to schedule, and that's going to be the drag racing. And that'll be our 6 for 30 adult race, and the list race, which is our series race for drag racers, and that'll be held right after it. But there's also going to be practicing for the blue track. All other tracks will be shut off, including the RC track. The only track that is going to be live in here other than the drag strip on Thursday is going to be the blue track, and that is just to make it where everybody can concentrate, get as much practice time as they can. Also, we're going to be swapping over, and the track itself is going to be put on a race schedule practice. Every 2 minutes, it's going to be a rotation. If somebody's waiting to get that lane, you will have to move to the next lane, whatever lane that may be, whatever you choose. But if somebody's wanting that lane, after every 2 minutes, you're going to have to rotate, let them have some time on the track. Okay, guys? But that's just to keep the peace. It's going to be fun. I can't wait till tomorrow. We're going to get this baby freshly sprayed. I'm going to have pictures for you on Facebook. It's a hype station here. The train is rolling. Choo-choo. Not to mention, we got some exciting things coming for the drag racers. I don't know if you've seen in a post today. Guy made a post. We're going to make it up to these drag racers for cutting some of their time. We're also going to make it up for these 1RC guys for cutting some of their time too in the future. So stay tuned for that. Big things happening here at Lanes Raceway. God bless you guys. Thank you for tuning in to tonight's live stream. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. God bless you guys, and I'll see you here Saturday for the big race, Alan Ingram's Flexi Challenge.